Finally, we have the Publish section. In the previous App Specifications section, you named your product and linked it to your products in iTunes. But these were only the shells. In the Publish section, you actually physically define where the issue lives and the screenshots and metadata around it. You start by clicking on the Publish section and choosing the correct title or collection. You can then click on Create New Issue. Start by giving this a unique issue name, such as January 2013. Type in the description of your issue. Now this should be different from your app description, because the app description describes your app, while this one is the description of this specific issue. If you did use Remote Reader, then that is the only exception where your app and issue description would be the same. Select your issue type. This is where it is important to define the issue type the same as you defined it in App Specifications. If you get this far and realize you need to make separate issue types, please go back to Titles and Collections and make the issue types you need. Then go to App Specifications, Settings, and make sure you have picked the correct issue type for this issue. The issue number and headline are not really used, so it is not mandatory for you to put in that information. For uploads, you need to pick a thumbnail of the issue, which is usually the cover. The issue preview could be a sample page from the issue, and the issue summary could be the TOC from the issue. To find out the sizes you need to make these images, click on the question mark. For release information, you need to provide a release date. Make this date prior to today's date so that you can test your issue and so that Apple has something to review. Once the app is accepted into the App Store, you can push this date to a date in the future before you actually release your app to the public. The issue availability end date is the last day you want this issue to be available for your app. For example, you may only have licensing on images for 2 years, and after that date, you can no longer legally sell this issue. In that case, you could define an issue availability end date. For test issue, you cannot uncheck test issue until you buy your licenses. When an issue is in test, you can see it on your device while testing as long as you have logged into the test section of My Kiosk on your device. That registers the device as a test device with AVE Portal. If you don't log in to register the device, there will be no issues for you to test. AVE files is where you specify the URL of your zave files. If your zave files aren't ready, you can check I will specify my zave files later. If they are ready, paste your URL into the URL area. To make sure your URL will work correctly, paste it into a browser. It should start downloading the zave immediately and show you the time remaining. If it doesn't, it won't work when you try to test the issue in your app. Check your settings for the file wherever you have hosted it to fix the issue. Next, you need to pick the correct zave file that was generated at the same time you created the zave. This is the manifest file, and it contains the device data. As covered in other videos in this series, you can upload both your Retina and non-Retina files here. Finally, you can attach metadata in the metadata section. Click OK when you're done defining the Publish section.